I genuinely don't know how I look right now, and I don't know if I want to know. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jordan Rard Coupe. You are watching Sporty Jordy. Just a forewarning, I am fresh off of a work shift. I also work as a waitress in a sports bar. So it is legitimately 12:35 a.m. Yeah, Michael Jordan's my background, obviously. So I'm kind of a mess. I also have to wake back up. I have to be back at work at 10 a.m. But this video is just too important to put off. I wanted to make sure I got it up in the appropriate time. Why is this video so important, you might ask? So basically in this video today, I'm going to be giving you my predictions for this upcoming 2021 season. And this video is so important because it marks 1 year of me starting my YouTube channel. My 2020 predictions for the upcoming season was the first YouTube video that I ever made. It started this whole crazy journey, so it's super important to me. If you have been here since the start, thank you so much for supporting me. I can't get over how far this all has come in just a year, and for all the people that I've picked up along the way, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. And with that being said, if you haven't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button so we can keep doing the best NFL content all season. And now, without further ado, let's get into everything. Doing these last year was tough, but I have a feeling this year is going to be even worse. So that's just great for me. I swear to God, if any of you judge me for drinking a Pepsi at almost 1 o'clock in the morning, it's just how I function, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without it. It's a necessity. It's a mandatory requirement at any given time on any given day. Now, I know the anticipation is probably killing you, so let's get into everything. I know last year when I did this, I started with the NFC East because that's where my team is. Yeah, let's stick with that. Let's start with the NFC least. I'm also trying to be a little bit quieter than I normally am because it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. My family is sleeping. Drum roll for who I think is going to take the NFC East. It really shocks me that in an entire year I could not improve those at all. Now, I am fully aware that the NFC East is straight up just a crapshoot. It's kind of the worst of the worst fighting their way into the playoffs to lose in the first round. But it also is a very exciting division because the NFC East has not had a repeat division winner since 2004. So it has been 16 years. This is the longest streak in any division. It's the longest streak in league history. It's honestly kind of impressive. However, I do think after 2021, this streak is going to be broken because I have a feeling Washington is going to come in and just demolish the rest of us in this division. To say that I am terrified to go up against that Washington defense twice this season, it would be an understatement. And I know that it's kind of a cliche for me to just rely on defenses win championships, but in this division specifically, it's going to carry them, and it's going to be what gets them to the playoffs. So they have this powerhouse defense. They also have an incredible coach in Ron Rivera. I think the biggest question mark for them will be sitting at the quarterback position. However, I'm not really that worried about it. As far as offensive weapons go, it's not like they're totally stacked, but think about it. They still have Scary Terry, Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas. They have guys out there that are going to get the job done. And like I said, biggest question mark is quarterback. Can Ryan Fitzmagic does he still have what it takes to carry a team on his own, start to finish, get them to the playoffs? I'm not necessarily sure. I honestly don't know. What makes me not super nervous about this at all is the fact that he has Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen sitting behind him. Obviously, this is Ryan Fitzpatrick's team. There's no doubt about that. I'm not questioning that at all. But if you have the opportunity to throw Taylor Heineke or Kyle Allen out there in a moment of need, it's things like that that is going to carry them and make them next level. So yeah, it's going to be Washington that takes the NFC East. The bigger question is who is coming in second? Did you really think I would put the Cowboys here? I mean, seriously. Is this biased? Yes, but is it absolutely true? 100%. I will get to why Dallas doesn't scare me. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about why I think the Eagles are going to be good. And this is so ironic because this whole offseason I kept telling myself, I was like, don't get your hopes up. You had your hopes up last year. I had the Eagles taking this division last year and we came in last. So talk about getting your heart not even broken, like, what's that song? Heart in a blender, watch it spin around to a beautiful oblivion. Rendezvous, then I'm through with you. Yeah, that was me. This is why I don't film at night, because I'm a lunatic. So yeah, I told myself I wasn't going to get my hopes up for the Eagles, and here I am, getting my hopes up for the Eagles. But when you break down this team from top to bottom, there's no indication that we're going to be terrible. Nick Sirianni, when he was initially hired, I sat here and I was like, what the frick did we just do? His first couple press conferences, weird, terrible, like so off the wall. But I just think that's how he is. And I kind of like that. He's quirky, weird, a little nerdy, but like he's our quirky, weird, nerdy head coach. Nobody else can, from any other team, from any other division, no one can call Nick Sirianni quirky, weird, or nerdy, but I can, and any Eagles fan can, because he's ours, and we love him, and we respect him. I think I would jump in front of a bus for him. Like, I genuinely think I would lay my life out on the line. There is no one that loves and appreciates football as much of him. The way he talks about it is like a kid, and I think him coming into our organization, it's going to do great things for us. I trust him. I'm going to clip this off in case I'm so wrong and he just totally butchers it, but I just really don't think that is going to be the case. And moving on from him, the relationship that him and Jalen Hurts are building is incredible. And I am so sold on Jalen Hurts. Hurts season all the way. I am so excited to see what he's going to be able to do. He just completely stepped up as a leader, and what we saw from him last season on the field, you can see the talent. Like, you know it's there, but there were obvious things that he had to work on. And in this whole offseason, in this training camp, in the games that in the moments we got to see from him, I should say, in this preseason, I see him working on that. And that's all I can really ask for if you're starting to move in that right direction. So I love our coach. I love our quarterback. And if our O-line can stay healthy, arguably top 5 O-line in the entire league, and that's not even being dramatic. I mean, if they can stay healthy is a very big question. But if they do, unstoppable. Also, our D-line, fantastic. Our secondary, it's moving in the right direction, and that's all I can ask for. It's not at the point I necessarily would love it to be at, but I feel much more comfortable than I did last season and then I thought I was going to feel going into the season. So I really can't complain. And then also switching back to offense, our offensive weapons, we have plenty for Hurts to get to. So all in all, looking at this team from top to bottom, everyone can keep overlooking them. I think it makes us more dangerous because people aren't going to expect us to come out. And when I say, let me make it very clear, I'm not saying the Eagles are going on a Super Bowl run. I don't even know if we'll make the playoffs, but I'm saying we win at least 8 games. I'm thinking it's honestly more like 10. And we're going to start to feel like a cohesive team that is moving in the right direction instead of the absolute hot mess express that we were last year. So yeah, go Eagles. So yeah, I won't totally do the Cowboys dirty. I won't put them in last. That spot is honestly reserved by the Giants. Sorry. However, I am just totally not sold on them, and I can't, in my heart of hearts, put them above the Eagles. I just can't do it. And I also genuinely don't think it's going to happen. I think Dak is going to be a little shaky. I think the shoulder was more serious than they ever let on. And as we all had to painfully watch last season, that offense is nothing without him. He is legitimately the glue that holds them together. So if he isn't 100%, I don't think they're going to be 100%. And yes, I will give credit where credit is due. They finally started working on building up this defense, which is exactly what they needed to do. That was their gaping hole that they needed to fill to become the Super Bowl contenders that everybody consistently thinks they are, even though they're so not. Whatever, it's fine. They started making the correct moves. I just think it's going to take some time for this whole team to click back into place, and that is why I am putting them in third. And for obvious reasons, the Giants are in last. I don't even really know what's going on with them. You had like 3 players retire in the span of a week. There's something weird going on there. Danny Dimes, this is your make it or break it season. Will he be able to prove himself? I genuinely don't know. And I don't want to totally knock them because they honestly did have a really good offseason. I love the moves they made. They're going to be getting Saquon back. They just feel very all over the place to me. And I'm not expecting much of anything from them. I'm sorry. I feel really bad talking about them like that. One division done. NFC East, Washington Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. You heard it here first. Like I said, the NFC East, as terrible as we all are, it is kind of fun just because you genuinely don't know who's going to come in and take the division because we're all on that same level of being equally bad. It's the complete opposite for the NFC West because I think they're all equally talented and they're all on that same level. They're all so good. You just don't know who's going to be the best. The NFC East, it's like we're all so bad. You don't know who's going to be the worst kind of thing. NFC West might be my favorite division. You know what? No, I lied. I'm sorry. I genuinely just lied to you. It's up there. It's tied. NFC West and AFC North are tied for my favorite divisions in football just because they're so competitive. They're so exciting. I love a lot of the teams in them. All of them, basically. Except the Cleveland Browns. But I am coming around to them. I am starting to like them more. So that's fun. Minus Baker Mayfield. But we'll get to that. NFC West. Literally any single one of these teams. Any one of them could take this division. Legitimately anyone. Oh my God. Okay. NFC West Rams. Okay. I think the Rams are going to take this division because there's genuinely no reason for them not to. The only thing they were really lacking was that powerhouse quarterback. And if Matthew Stafford lives up to the expectations that we've all set for him, they've gotten exactly that. Everything is in position for them to have this stellar season. Offense, defense, coaching. They actually, I will genuinely be so pissed if they don't take this division because they have lined themselves up perfectly to do exactly that and to make a playoff run. If they don't take this division, I think that's a fail on this season. And that's a little harsh, but I'm not kidding. Oh my God. Okay, now who's going to come in second? So the Rams are taking this division. No questions asked. And the Cardinals are going to come in second. This is a team that is so beyond underrated going into the season. I've seen so many predictions for wild card playoff spots, division leaders. Cardinals aren't in any of these conversations. They're not being talked about enough, and they are in my, I was going to say top 5, but I think they're in my top 3 teams that I'm most excited to watch this season, minus the Eagles, because obviously they don't count. This team is brilliant. Kyler Murray keeps getting better. I don't know why people aren't more scared of the Cardinals. I am so sold on them being exceptional. This is a playoff team. This is a dark horse Super Bowl contender. Moving on. Now, I am pretty sure that I read somewhere that the Seahawks have never finished in last in this division. And you guys can fact check me. I don't know if that's 100% true. I'm like 99.9% that it's true. But either way, Seahawks are a very good team. They're a very solid team. In any other division, this would be insanity. But I am putting the Seahawks in last place in this division, and I'm putting the 49ers in third. Did I? Actually, I just said that. I really just did that. You know what? I'm going to stick with it. That feels right to me. The Seahawks, not even that they're going to have a bad season. I think it's going to be a little off. And like I said, any other division, Seahawks would never come in last. But in this one, when the talent is so strong, unfortunately, I just don't think it's in the cards for them. And the 49ers, the only reason why they looked like they did last season was because of injuries. Now, everybody's healthy. You're going to get everybody back. You have your Super Bowl team. You have Jimmy G. If you don't like Jimmy G, you throw Trey Lance in there. Either of those guys can get this team to the playoffs. It's genuinely really crazy that all four teams in this division can be playoff contenders. What the frick? Rams, Cardinals, 49ers, Seahawks. I love the Seahawks so much. Please don't give me hate. It's just the way the cards are falling. I'm sorry. Never eat soggy waffles. I'm so out of order already. I went from east to west. So let's go north and we'll finish down south. Not that you guys needed any of my thought process, but there you have it. NFC North. This is a fun one too. God, I just love football. I am so beyond elated. If any team besides the Packers takes this division, I will drive my car off of the Ben Franklin Bridge. It's just not going to happen. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and now they have Randall Cobb out there as well on that offense. They are looking for blood, and they are looking for revenge, and they are just going to go out there, and they're going to frickin' ball. Do I call Packers to the Super Bowl right now? Anywho, when you actually sit down and look at this division, all you see is the Packers coming in first, and then the Bears, the Vikings, and the Lions all just fighting for second place. Where this season, I see the Bears coming in and snagging that spot. The Vikings were super concerning last season, just all over the place. Some weeks they were phenomenal. Some weeks they were average at best. Some weeks they flat out stunk. I don't really know what to expect from them this season. They were pretty quiet in this offseason. The Bears, on the other hand, will have Justin Fields starting by week 4. Mic drop. I'm calling it now. And the second he is their starter, they are a tier above. I am so mean to Andy Dalton. I was legitimately just going to say they're a tier above where they're at now, which isn't much considering Andy Dalton is their QB1. Why was that about to just fly out of my mouth without question? I need to be nicer to Andy Dalton, just not right now. Packers in first, Bears in second, Vikings in third, and the Lions in last. Honestly, because they barely even have a team. I'm not kidding. If you look at their depth chart, it's empty. Last week they released both kickers. I'm sure they do now, but they didn't have a kicker. They keep just releasing or not signing offensive weapons. And it's you bring in Jared Goff. What are you actually trying to do here? You have him and TJ Hawkinson. Are you just setting them up for failure? I don't know. It seems, though, that could be the case. So yeah, sorry if you're a Lions fan. down south, we have the reigning Super Bowl champions who brought back all 22 Super Bowl starters. They brought back the entire coaching staff. They didn't fire a single person. They're just trying to relive last season and be this ultimate dream team. And unfortunately, I think it could work. And the only team in this division that really gave them a run for their money was the Saints. But now the Saints are not doing too well. So the Buccaneers easily take this division. I honestly don't even have the Saints coming in second. I have the Saints coming in third in this division, sitting behind the Atlanta Falcons. They just feel much more put together than the Saints right now. And it's not like they're this exceptional team. They just have so many good, solid, safe pieces, and Kyle Pitts, who I love more than anything else in this entire universe, that I think it's going to work for them. And I think they're going to have a good season. I have the Panthers coming in last, and this feels like a contradiction because this whole offseason, ever since the Sam Darnold trade, I've been talking about how I think he's going to come out and remake a name for himself, and he's going to have a great season. And I still fully believe that. I just think they're in this weird period where they're not in a total rebuild, but they're in this very uncertain place. And I'm also not totally convinced that Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy, and he's kind of the glue that holds them together, holds that offense together, at least I should say. So I think they're just going to be figuring it out this season. They're going to be sitting right at about 500, which isn't good nor bad. They're just going to kind of do their thing and figure it out. We are cooking with fire. We are already in the AFC. What weird ass order did I go in the NFC? East, West, North, South. I think that's it. All right. That's what we're going to do for the AFC. So the AFC East, I'm pretty sure this was the only division that I got 100% spot on correct last year. I don't know if I should admit that right now. I probably should have held on to that for a little bit. But this division definitely is a fun one. I think it's blatantly obvious that the Bills are going to come in and take this division. I already hinted that I think the Packers are going to the Super Bowl? I also think the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. I think we're going to get a Bills-Packers Super Bowl, which I would love more than anything. There's a very real chance that we just get a repeat of last year with the Chiefs and the Bucks, which it would be fun, and I love the Chiefs, but I'm ready to see some new teams in there. Bills Packers would be really good. And it's ironic because they were the two teams that lost in the AFC and NFC championship this past year. Okay, I'm rambling. Bills are going to take the AFC East because they're the best. And I think we can all agree with how talented this team is. As for second place in this division, I'm pissed. I am so pissed that I'm even doing this. I want so badly to say the Dolphins right now. And the Dolphins are going to be so good. They are a playoff team. I'm 100% convinced Tua is going to come out this season and he is going to make all of you haters bite your tongue about him. And he is going to prove why he is the real deal. But they're going to finish in third in this division behind the Patriots because for some reason the Patriots are just on this weird high with Mac Jones, and after the super shopping spree that Belichick went on this offseason, they're just sitting pretty, unfortunately. I had my one season last year where I didn't totally hate them, but now my hatred is back for them, especially after letting Cam go. What? I will never get over it. And last year, I have the Jets in last again. Can you blame me? Last year, I don't even think I discussed them in my video for a single second. I was just like, the Jets are in last, and it's obvious why. And that proved to be very true. This season, it's a little different. Yes, they're going to come in last because they have some work to do, but I actually think they are going to be, I don't want to say a solid team. I would say in the tier right below what we consider a solid team. They're going to be much better than what we've seen. Zach Wilson has showed that he's got the arm. He's just kind of this traditional great quarterback, and I think he's going to do great things for them. I love their new head coach, but they are still in the midst of this rebuild. So not yet, but soon, very soon, the Jets won't be a laughing stock. And I'm not laughing at them this season. I'm not. I'll give them that. Moving into the AFC West, I am actually leaving my predictions the exact same as I did last season. And last season, I was a little off. Last season, I had Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. And it ended up being Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. However, this season, the Chargers are going to be so unstoppable, it's scary. And the only reason why they aren't coming in first is because they just so happen to be in the same division as the Chiefs. And we all know how good the Chiefs are. The Raiders are going to be great. I feel like over the last couple of years, they just keep slowly getting better and better. And last year, you did. You proved me wrong. You came out above the Chargers. It's not going to happen for a second year in a row. It's going to be the Chargers. Okay. And as for the Broncos, they have named Teddy Bridgewater their starting quarterback, so I don't get to sit here and make fun of Drew Lock in the same way that I did last season. However, I'm just still not sold that they are going to be able to come out and compete with teams like, definitely not the Chiefs, but with teams like the Chargers and the Raiders, who are just that level above. The Broncos, I think, are going to be a good team. Raiders are great. Chargers are great. The Chiefs are just freaking phenomenal. And I just think that's how the chips are going to fall in this division. This one might be the easiest one I've done so far. Everything else, this is really tough. This year is going to be really good. Moving up to the AFC North, as I said, this is tied for my favorite division in football. Also, the most competitive and probably the toughest. Tied for the toughest. I don't want to do this. Okay, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. I have to keep reminding myself that just because I like a team, it doesn't mean they're going to do well. And on the other side of that, just because I dislike a team, it doesn't mean they're going to stink. So with that being said, I think the order for this division is going to be Ravens, Browns, Steelers, Bengals. Ravens, even with the loss of J.K. Dobbins, I still think they're set up to, it wouldn't even technically be a revenge year because it's not like they did poorly last season. They just flew, no pun intended, because they're the Ravens, so far under the radar. No one was even really talking about them. I love this team. I love Lamar Jackson. I feel like I barely even watched any of their games from start to finish, which is weird. It's so weird. They are such a good team. I think they easily come out. Last season, I'll give them this too. They got rocked with all the COVID stuff, and they had this shaky part in the middle of the season, and there was one point where we didn't even think there was a chance of them making the playoffs, and then they did, and then they got their playoff win, which they desperately needed, at least Lamar needed for his own mental well-being. So I think they're going to come out very strong this season. Easily, I don't want to say easily, because I do think the Browns and the Steelers are going to give them a run for their money, but I do think they're just going to be that one step ahead. The Browns, I easily see coming in second right behind them, mainly because, and I don't know how to say this without hurting my own feelings, because like I said, the Browns they're just one of those teams that I don't love. I'm starting to like, but I don't love, and I love the Steelers. But this is just me being honest and doing my job. The Browns feel like a more advanced version of the Steelers. They have all kind of the same components, but the Browns are just slightly better. The Browns defense is just so scary in and of itself. And their offense, I guess, whatever. It's decent. I'll give them that. Steelers. I don't want to wish any harm against Ben Roethlisberger. I really don't. I think this is going to be his last season before retirement, and I hope more than anything that he returns to the Steelers organization and is a quarterback coach, because I can just see that being a great fit. But I would love to see Dwayne Haskins. for a chunk of this season, even if it's not half, even if it's just a couple games. And that has genuinely nothing to do with these rankings. That was more just a personal thing. Bengals, Joe Burrow, healthy. Yeah, he's healthy and he is going to be phenomenal. I just think this team is still very far away from being able to consistently win games and be competitive, at least within this division. If they were in the NFC East, who frickin' knows? But when you're in the AFC North, you're going to get a run for your money. Oh my God, we've made it to the end. AFC South. I probably shouldn't have saved this one for last because it's honestly the most irrelevant. You have this division is going to be broken up like this. You're going to have 2 teams fighting for 1 or 2, and then you have the other 2 teams fighting for last place. Seriously, you have 2 very good, very solid teams in this division. And then you also have 1 team that is in the middle of rebuilding and 1 team that is terrible in every way. I actually feel really guilty saying that. I was a fan of the Houston Texans. I was, because Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, JJ Watt. How can you not root for that team? I more so hate the organization. And now none of the people I love or loved, I should emphasize, are playing, or they're on a different team now. It's like 1:30 in the morning. I don't know if that was a coherent sentence, but I'm not saying it again. So now we have to ask ourselves, will it be the Titans or the Colts that end up in first place? And on the other end, will it be the Jags or the Texans that end up in last place? Dun, 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 dun. With Carson Wentz's bad luck following him to Indianapolis, I'm going to say that the Titans easily claim first place. This is just an outstanding team. And it's a team, there's no reason for me to not be a fan of the Titans. It's like a group of like the nicest dudes. They don't cause problems. They come out, they win games. But for some reason, I always bet against them. I always pick against them. And I don't find myself rooting for them, and I genuinely don't have a reason. I love Ryan Tannehill. I love Derrick Henry. Now you have Julio Jones. You got A.J. Brown. Like, you have such great components, and for some reason, I don't know what it is. I just can't be a fan, but I will give them this. I do think this division is theirs for the taking. I think the Colts easily come in second behind them because even with an injured Carson Wentz, they are miles above the Jags or the Texans. We also just have to have fingers crossed that Carson Wentz plays 70% of this season so the Eagles can get a first round conditional pick. So I am rooting for the Colts to do well because even if Carson Wentz only plays 75% of this season and they make the playoffs, that's also enough for us to get our first round pick. So I'm going to be watching the Colts like a hawk this season, specifically Carson Wentz. Don't hurt me anymore, please. And I am going to be really honest. I think this is going to be a very tough year for Trevor Lawrence. As much as I don't want it to be, I want to watch him be the superstar that he is. They don't need that much more time. They are so close to figuring it out. And obviously having Trevor Lawrence at the root of that, it makes things a little easier. So they're moving in the right direction. I think they're going to be better than what we saw last year. As a team, I just don't think they're actually going to be able to pull through and win enough games to compete for the first or second spot in this division. Yet, like I said, it's going to happen soon. And last, I have no problem putting the Texans in last place in this division. I'd be shocked if they win a single game. And that also, I'm like contradicting myself so much with the Texans. That also pains me to say just because Tyrod Taylor is their starting quarterback right now. And with the journey that he has been on, I would love nothing more than for him to be the starting quarterback of a team that does somewhat decent. Let him have some fun. Unfortunately, I just don't think that's going to be the case, even though they do have, like, Philip Lindsay is a Texan. Mark Ingram is a Texan. Like, they have these random great players that we know and love. So maybe they'll be able to do something. I just don't think they actually want to do anything, and I can't see it happening. So there it is. My entire breakdown of every single team in the league heading into the 2021 season. And yeah, I even gave you a way too early Super Bowl prediction, Bills versus Packers. Will that change by week 3? Probably. But this is just my initial gut feeling heading into the season. And last year I did say that it was going to be the Chiefs and the Bucs, and I was right. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying I'm kind of close on my best day. I need to go to bed. As always, give me all of your thoughts in my comment section down below. I would love to see what you guys think. Give me some dark horse Super Bowl predictions. I'd love to hear them. And let me know if you think my predictions are kind of accurate or pretty whack. I think there's a solid combo of both in here. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. You can find me on all socials at SPORTYJORDY. And again, I'm not good at being sentimental or emotional or sappy. It's very far out of my comfort zone, but I do sincerely want to say thank you to everyone for this year. It has been so much fun. I have loved every second of this journey, and I can't wait to see if this is how far we've come in a year. I can't wait to see what else is in store. Ew. Okay, I'm done. Football is back, and I'm the happiest person ever. I will see you next week. Bye.